Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of King's Quest 6 playthrough. So we are just about ready to start exploring the other islands, and so I'm excited to get off to this start. Again, this is one of the best adventure games, in my opinion, of all time, and it's just very fun, great storyline, and a lot of whimsical characters. So let's whip out our
Alexander
magic
pulls
map.
out his magic map.
All right. And we're here at the Isle of the Crown. This one is invisible right now. Let's go to the Isle of Wonder.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
All right, what do we see here? Little clammies.
One of the oysters is sitting up in bed and doesn't look very happy. He seems to be the only one who can't sleep. In the oyster's mouth, Alexander can see a glint of white.
Also, there's something floating here.
A string of letters floats in the water. The letters spell out, "Where are you going?" Alexander's heard of alphabet soup, but this is ridiculous.
Why aren't you asleep like the other oysters?
Oh, I'm so weary, but I can't sleep. I have a terrible ache in my mouth.
What's wrong with your mouth?
No offense, but it hurts too much to talk.
Well, we need to get that pearl out.
Why don't you let me see if I can help?
No way! No one's looking in my mouth. I hate dentists.
Cute. Can we, like, tickle him or make him sneeze or something?
That won't do anything for the little oyster.
Okay.
Alexander hears someone coming.
"5 fierce guards of the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man," said he, "with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If mad it be, then mad it dies. Old Tom Troll, smell your smell. Do that which you do so well."
Smell? Oh, I don't have anything for him to smell. Yikes. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's check out the other
Alexander
islands.
pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Love the artwork.
Tall, narrow trees abound on each side of the path. A pond lies across the path. The water boils as if over some magical flame. An old abandoned hunter's lamp is hanging on one of the trees. Alexander wonders who might have hunted in these dense woods.
Okay. We're not going to cross that.
Ouch! That water is hot.
I was trying to take a mushroom, but I don't think I can. That's fine.
The fawn is too busy eating to pay attention to Alexander.
Well, that's anticlimactic.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. Alexander notices an unusually large coal-black feather lying on the beach. Alexander takes the feather. There's an ugly flower growing near the base of the cliff. Alexander picks the flower and is startled by its hideously strong skunk-like odor. For a moment he can smell nothing else. There appears to be something etched into the face of the cliff. Alexander decides to get closer.
All right, I remember this puzzle. So you have to press a letter, one letter on each row, to make these steps go up. So what do we want to do? We want to go up. We want to rise.
Huge blocks of stone erupt from the granite cliffs. Alexander stares with wonder. That's quite a way to welcome a guest, if indeed it is a welcome.
Now I think we can go back to the Isle of Wonder now because we got the stinky flower. So we'll go up there later.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Okay, let's save just in case we die or something. And I want to know if I can, like, tickle that guy's nose. Make
The
him
little
sneeze.
oyster looks far too grumpy to enjoy a good tickling.
Okie dokie.
That won't do anything for the little oyster.
Can I make him laugh? Also, can I walk over this way?
Alexander hears someone coming.
"I've fierce guards of the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man," said he, "with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If mad it be, then mad it dies. Old Tom Troll, smell your smell. Do that which you do so well."
Alright, smell the stinky flower.
Alexander holds the flower of stench out to the gnome with the jumbo nose.
"Tom Troll I am, that's all I'll be. My nose knows all on land and sea. A flower of stench has washed ashore. A flower 'tis all, and nothing more. Listen, hark you, Grovenor, do your duty as you swore. With your ears, please tell us more."
Alexander winds the tin nightingale and plays it for the gnome with the monumental ears.
"A nose is not a way to spy. My ears cannot be told a lie. A nightingale is all there be. No man is near, and so say me. Taste, Grump, that we might know whether friend or whether foe."
Gross.
Alexander holds the mint out for the gnome with the gigantic mouth.
Grump knows a tasty treat. It matters not what others bleat. No danger is this one so sweet.
"Trilly-dilly, use your hands. Is it beast or is it man?"
Alexander holds the rabbit foot out for the gnome with the huge hands.
"Be
trill merrily. A hare does not at all taste sweet. A rabbit here is all we greet.
Old Bill Batter, never fatter, vision can resolve this matter. Look you now and end this chatter.
Alexander pours the contents of the empty-looking ink bottle over himself.
By all that's beauteous, fair, and sightly, 4 morons do I sleep with nightly. There's nothing there at all, I say. Enough of this. Let's now away.
Alexander did it! He's fooled the guards!
Awesome. And look at this thing drifted up to shore.
Alexander picks up the object floating in the water. It appears to be a string of letters. They say, "Where are you going?" Alexander decides to keep the odd sentence, even though it is incomplete.
A lot going on here. Okay.
Wow. Hiya, gorgeous. Oh, what a luscious-looking hunk of flesh you are.
Thank you, I guess. Who are you?
How charming of you to pretend not to know. I'm Black Widow, of course. The femme fatale of all femme fatales. Know what I mean? You know, I was just thinking it was time I found my 50th, another husband. It would be quite a horror, an honor to have me as a bride. Just look at my beautiful weaving. It's so light, so delicate. You'll never want to leave my little nest.
It is a lovely web, but my heart is elsewhere, I'm afraid.
Oh, drat! The loss is yours. I'm sure you'll change your mind once you consider the advantages. That scrap of paper blew into my web from those books over there. The wind just thinks it can deposit anything here.
A thread is hanging from the otherwise tightly woven web. An intricately detailed spider's web has been spun between a pile of books and a small tree. A black widow is sitting in her web. She has long legs and an hourglass on her belly. She gives Alexander a knowing look.
Have you changed your mind? My offer of dead wedlock is still open.
Let's pull the thread.
Hey, don't touch that thread!
Alexander snatches the scrap of parchment, curious to see what's written on it.
Oh. Well, there we go.
The wind blows the scrap of paper from Alexander's hand, but he remembers what it said well enough.
Oh, so there you are, handsome. What can I do for you now?
What do you think you're doing?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize these books had an owner. I'm in need of a rare book.
No owner? All books have owners, my good man. And this book owner, bookworm to you, wouldn't part with one of his books for anything.
Isn't there something I can do for you to pay for the book?
Let's see. Do you have an itinerant clause?
No. No clauses at all, I'm afraid.
As an exception, you always should.
Don't mind oxymoron and diphthong. They're fairly limited grammatical principles, you know. Let's see. A marsh pig that does Texas?
No. I'm afraid not.
A dangling participle?
I'm fresh out.
A purple fiddle whacker?
No, I don't think so. Sorry.
An idiosyncrasy, perhaps?
Afraid not.
Ha! Then what good are you?
Alexander is greeted with silence.
Okay. A lot going on here.
The fallen log has a good-sized knot or bump. A stick is stuck in the middle of the swamp. Milkweed thrives near the mucky swamp. Small bottles filled with milk grow on it like fruit. A large tree stretches knotted limbs out over the swamp. Part of the tree's trunk is shaped like the face of a dog. Why, it must be a dogwood tree. A mushy swamp lies just off the path. It doesn't look like very good swimming. That bump on the log does not look particularly conversational to Alexander. Alexander sees no point in trying to talk to that stick in the swamp.
My dear tree, is it true that your bark is worse than your bite?
Alexander takes a bottle of milk from the milkweed bush. Apparently, the dogwood tree doesn't like Alexander standing that close. A cluster of cattails flourishes near the muck of the swamp. Alexander decides to pet the soft-looking cattails. Zounds, what a racket! So much for stirring up those cattails. Yuck. Alexander doesn't want to put his bare hands in that oozy swamp.
Okay, well, let's keep going.
Unless Alexander is mistaken, those plants must be baby's tears. Vines of sweet ripening tomatoes climb up little wooden posts.
Except the grouchy one down here.
Alexander takes a close look at the tomato in the ground. It appears to be darker than those on the vines.
What are you staring at there, boy? Go away, you rootless thing, you! Yeah.
Yep, that tomato is definitely rotten. Is that lettuce growing in the garden? It looks a little chilled. Why, it must be iceberg lettuce.
Cute.
A colorful array of snapdragons stand guard to one side of the path. The wallflowers look terribly shy. There appears to be a hole in the garden wall. Through the hole in the wall, Alexander sees a land that resembles a giant chessboard. Wow, it really is a hole in the wall. Zounds, those wallflowers sure are shy, and the snapdragons are awfully protective of them. Alexander can't even get close to the wallflowers without causing quite a stir. Alexander decides to pick up the hole in the wall. A hole in the wall could be a very useful thing. Alexander startled the poor thing. It's run off to hide behind the wallflowers. The wallflowers, overcome with shyness at Alexander's approach, cluster together and cover the hole in the wall. Alexander can't get it.
I don't think I have anything.
Would you ladies be at all interested in this?
The wallflowers shyly decline.
Okay. I probably need something else.
A red chess knight stands at the top of the marble steps. A noble white chess knight stands at the top of the marble stairs.
Excuse me, what land lies beyond?
What land? Chessboard land, you knave.
I see. And is chessboard land part of the land of the Green Isles?
It is the home of the red and white queens, rulers of the Isle of Wonder, fairest of the islands that owe loyalty to the king of the land of the Green Isles. But perhaps not for long.
What do you mean?
What is the purpose of unity with the great king and queen dead? The princess is worth serving, but the feud with the other isles is strong.
All right, let's learn more about the feud then.
I must insist, Your Highness. I shall send a lump of coal to the Vizier and the Princess as a present for their wedding, and that's the end of it.
And I suppose you'll leave me with only this stupid spoiled egg to send, Your Highness. I want to impress the new king and queen of the realm as much as you do. As queen of this island, I have every right to that lump of coal.
Who isn't queen of this isle? The lump of coal is in my possession. Therefore, I shall do as I please with it. Besides, there's nothing wrong with that spoiled egg.
The egg, though delightfully spoiled, is not nearly so valuable as the lump of coal, and you know it. Your Highness always got to carry the singing stone. It's not fair that you get the coal, too.
That doesn't count. The singing stone was stolen by that horrid beast. I should get to keep the coal just because my stone was stolen.
It wasn't your stone. It belonged to the Isle of Wonder treasury. Your Highness always thinks that everything is hers.
Excuse me, my good man, but could you settle an argument for us?
Uh-oh.
Which of us should get to carry the coal and which the egg? Remember, white is the color of deserving truth and virtue.
Quiet, Your Highness, and let him make up his own mind. I, for one, shall be more proper, and not even mention the fact that red is the color of love.
I'm sorry, Your Majesties. I'm partial to both red and white, but I'm afraid that I don't know how to solve your problem. One of you will just have to be gracious and allow the other the lump of coal.
What a ridiculously stupid idea.
Quite ludicrous.
He was a lot of help, wasn't he?
Oh, yes. Obviously a man of high intelligence. The lump of coal goes much better with my gown anyway. Black and red are imperial colors.
That's the silliest thing I ever heard. Red does not go with anything, being much too self-conscious. White is the perfect accompaniment to any color.
The Red Queen has dropped her scarf on the steps. Alexander picks up the Red Queen's scarf.
We want to keep it, right? I don't think we want to give it back, but we can see what happens.
I found a red scarf. I believe the Red Queen dropped it.
The Red Queen is always dropping her scarves. She thinks it's fashionable. Keep it, and consider yourself honored.
Alexander picks a head of iceberg lettuce.
Ye gads! Is that cold?
Okay. Not quite sure what else to do here right now, but I do think that we can
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
We can use the iceberg lettuce in the boiling water, right? That makes sense.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. There's an odd little creature dangling from that tree branch.
Hello, friend. Aren't you an odd-looking little fellow?
I'm not odd-looking, you are.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you could speak.
Speak not. Funny is, speech I am and nothing but.
You speak strangely, friend.
Strange my speech is not. Eloquence I speak with.
But who are you? And why are you here?
Away I fly my home from. Lost I am therefore. Has my name too? Can you guess not? It's what I do this branch with, and the way I speak of.
If you're lost, perhaps I can take you home.
Take me home too? Think not I do. Know you I do not.
He's a dangling participle. That's so cute.
Alexander holds the sentence out to the creature.
This sentence seems in need of an ending. Perhaps you could finish it?
Where are you going? Where are you going? Know what I do? Where are you going to? Like you I do. Go I with you?
Well, that was certainly interesting. It looks like Alexander now has a passenger. One end of the creature resembles a miniature dragon, while the other looks like a possum. What a strange-looking fellow. Hoping to cool down the boiling pond, Alexander throws in a head of iceberg lettuce. The pond's water slowly stops boiling, cooled by the ice. It still looks hot, but bearable. Alexander decides to brave the steaming pond.
Ouch! Ow! Ooh, 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 ouch!
The pond is no longer boiling, but it's hardly bathwater. Alexander takes the old hunter's lamp from the tree. Alexander is carrying an old, battered hunter's lamp. The lamp is empty.
Doesn't have a genie, right?
Alexander rubs the lamp, but nothing happens. As Alexander continues down the path, he gets the strange feeling that he's being watched.
Come on over here and see what I'm doing with these flowers. Never mind that stone fella on top of the gate. He won't hurt you any. He's just there to scare you.
Ah, you see his shiny eyes.
A brick lies in the grass. It must have come from the old brick wall. Alexander picks up the brick.
We definitely, if we go through here, we get shot. I'll show you just for funsies.
Gotcha this time.
Ticket, please.
Tickets. Oh. Next.
That move was slightly erroneous.
I'm Alexander of Daventry. Who are you?
What difference does it make? Just come on over here. I'll tell you my life history if you still want to hear it.
Tell me.
If it's conversation you want, just come on over here. I'll talk your ears off if we can sit down and talk face to face.
Tell me.
If it's...
What do I use the brick for?
Throwing the brick at the stone archer might scratch his marble, but it won't stop the archer's vigilant watch over the path.
Okay.
Come on through, I say. I can show you a path through the forest.
Yeah, how about let's not?
Flowering rose hedges grow on either side of the path winding north.
Okay, nope, bye-bye.
You aren't gonna listen to me, are you? Well, we'll just see about that.
That's odd. The gardener just disappeared.
Okay, let's go back to...
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
Actually, I think I want to go back to the Isle of the Crown to...
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
I want to swap out the Nightingale.
Your candy dish is empty.
Did he eat all the mints?
I am sorry, sir, but I have no more mints. Somebody has eaten them all.
Well, get some more then.
I fear that is impossible. Without the ferry, I can no longer get imports from the other islands, and we do not grow mint extract on the Isle of the Crown.
Oh, I hate not getting what I want.
Would you mind if I traded this in?
Of course, Prince Alex. Please choose something in exchange for the items on the counter.
Alexander looks closely at the items on the counter to make his selection.
So I want the flute because I want to try to get that hole in the wall, and I think that's what we use. These two, I don't see a use for at the moment.
I'll take the flute.
The flute? Very good, Prince Alex. May its music always be sweet. Feel free to trade it back at any time.
Thank you.
What is this poster, by the way? I don't think I looked at it last time.
Alexander doesn't remember that sign being on the wall before. He decides to take a closer look.
Oh, maybe it wasn't there before.
It's a proclamation. It reads, "Citizens rejoice, announcing the royal wedding and coronation of Vizier Abdul Alhazred and Princess Cassima. For reasons of security, the wedding will not be open to the public. Long live the new king and queen of the land of the Green Isles." Alexander feels his stomach turn at the thought of the dread event. If he doesn't do something soon, Cassima will be another man's wife.
Well, we can't let that happen.
Alexander feels his pocket.
Can I take it off the wall?
Alexander takes... It's a proclamation.
Okay.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
All right, so let's go back to the Isle of
Alexander
Wonder.
feels a strange pulling sensation.
We have this dangling participle, so I think we can exchange it for the rare book.
Do you have anything interesting yet?
A regular abnormality?
Let me see what I have. I found this little fellow lost on another island.
Coming home I am too.
There you are, you naughty boy. I told you not to leave the island.
Glad I am seeing you too.
A most solemn celebration.
So, you found my dangling participle. I suppose I'll have to give you something. Let's see now. Was it a rare book you wanted?
Yes, sir.
Well, then none of these will do. They've been sitting in the sun far too long and must be well cooked by now. This one is far more rare. A delicious little tidbit.
All right.
Thanks.
What is it?
Alexander is carrying a rare book from the bookworm. The words in the binding are very faint. The something riddle book.
Can I read it?
Alexander opens the rare book and looks inside. The book contains riddles and has a page missing. Alexander glances at a few of the conundrums, but finds himself more curious about the one that is missing. What was the riddle, he wonders? More importantly, what was the answer?
Okay. All right, well, we want to get this guy.
Zounds, those wallflowers sure are shy.
May I have this dance?
Oh, my!
I like that tune.
Alexander stops playing the flute, but the wallflowers and snapdragons continue to dance, caught up in the music and oblivious to everything around them. While the wallflowers dance, Alexander snatches the hole in the wall.
All right. So now we can go get that spell book. Now, I don't think we can do anything for the poor guy right now. I don't think.
That won't do anything for the little oyster.
Yeah, I don't think any of this other stuff.
That won't do any...
Should I play the flute for you?
No, thanks. Music just keeps me awake.
That won't do any...
Oh, I could read him the boring book.
Alexander is carrying a book.
The really boring one. Yeah. Yeah.
If you're having trouble sleeping, perhaps you'd like me to read to you.
Hey, that would be great!
2 dulcimers raised to the degree of 40 half-dulcimers, divided into equal parts by the third of a cackle of grouse geese, put over the result of 10 fine mackles, albeit small fine mackles, stretched over the total of 53 1/8 bottles of wild beast lard.
Alexander makes a grab for the pearl.
Hey! You fixed my mouth! It feels great!
The little oyster drifts into peaceful slumber with the rest of his oyster friends. The flawless pearl is the largest Alexander's ever seen. Small speckles of sand stand out against the otherwise gray brick. Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
All right, so let us see if... What do we want to do here? I can trade the rare book for the magic book. If the merchant's back, I can trade the lamp for a new lamp. And maybe I can trade this pearl for my ring back.
Good day, Prince Alexander.
Oops.
I found this large pearl. Might it be valuable enough to ransom back my family ring?
I have never seen such a perfect pearl. Certainly you can have your ring back.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't sell it. I'm a bit attached to it, I'm afraid.
Of course you are. You would be cold-hearted if you felt any differently. I am happy to see a family heirloom back with its rightful owner.
All right. Now, do we want this flute still? I don't know if we still need it. Okay.
Would you mind if I traded this in?
Of course, Prince
Alex?
I believe I'll take the tinderbox.
Very good, Prince Alex. Enjoy your tinderbox and bring it back anytime.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello. I will be right up.
Who's that?
Now, what can I do for you?
An odd-looking man is reading in the stuffed chair. He wears a vest, balloon-style pants, and pointed shoes. There's something deliberately silly about the man, as though he were a performer of some sort.
Good day, sir. Is there anything you can tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
I'm sorry, but I have no time for idle conversation. I'm too worried about the princess.
Excuse me again, sir. You mentioned the princess.
I told you I'm not interested in talking to strangers.
Determined to learn more about the strange man's relationship with the princess, Alexander shows the man his insignia ring and formally introduces himself.
I'm sorry to insist, but my name is Alexander of Daventry, and...
I appreciate the offer of the ring, Alexander, but I'm afraid I'm already spoken. Daventry? Where have I heard of Daventry? Flying flit mice. You must be Prince Alexander. Cassima told me about you when she arrived home. How came you here?
Why, by a ship now wrecked upon the sand. But you know Cassima? She truly spoke of me?
Yes, I saw her briefly when she first returned home. She mentioned a prince to me, Prince Alexander of Daventry. I'm afraid that was before she was told about her parents' deaths. You see, she arrived home a few weeks too late. The king and queen thought they'd never see her again. It is said they died of heartbreak. I'm afraid she's blamed herself.
What a terrible homecoming. If we had only known.
Terrible indeed, poor thing. Everyone in the kingdom seems to despair with her these days. The streets are silent.
Where is she now?
The princess is sequestered in mourning. It's a rather dated tradition, and not required, but the Vizier says she insisted out of respect.
I see. You've yet to say who you are, and how you know the princess.
I? Oh, pardon me. My name is Jallo. I am clown to the royal court, and had been since the marriage of Cassima's parents, King Caliphim and Queen Alaria. Oh, those were the happy days. The pair of them were so full of joy and life, so in love. And Cassima's birth. It would be hard to explain how long they had waited, how they had hoped for a child. I mean, she was such a charming little thing, smart as a whip, kind and sweet. Oh, she means everything to this kingdom, Alexander, and to me. I'm so terribly worried about her.
About her grief over her parents, you mean?
Well, the truth is, I do not trust the Vizier or his plans for Cassima. I'm still living at the Castle of the Crown as court clown, his clown. But it is more to keep my ear to the ground than out of loyalty. I wish I knew what the princess thinks these days. If only I could find Sing Sing, Cassima's pet nightingale. I might be able to send the princess a message. As it is, I must wait for the end of her seclusion.
What can you tell me about the Vizier?
The Vizier? Now there's a dangerous subject. His name is Abdul Alhazred. He came to the kingdom 15 years ago. The king was fascinated by his knowledge and his fine-sounding ideas. It didn't take long for Alhazred to convince the king to trust him with the minor problems of daily government. You see, Caliphim had a wife and a new daughter he wanted to spend time with. Alhazred became Wazir.
And now?
Well, he's had his eye on Cassima ever since she was a young girl. And she is the only thing between him and the throne.
Do you think he means to harm her?
Oh, I honestly don't know. I think he'd rather keep her as wife. But whatever his plans for the princess, he will use her to his best advantage. That's his way.
Perhaps he has charmed her. Perhaps she cares for him now.
The Vizier is capable of anything. And Cassima must be vulnerable and lonely right now. Still, she has always instinctively distrusted him. Cassima has a good head on her shoulders. I'd be surprised if she's truly fallen for his words of love. Now I must return to the castle. Look, I don't want to arouse suspicion. I'll try to meet you here again later.
Thank you for the information, Jallo. Be very careful.
Alexander rests his feet for a moment. Alexander picks up and leafs idly through a book called The Changing Role of Court Entertainers Through the Ages. Well, that was refreshing. There's no reason to use that on the books.
I found this rare book, and I thought of your offer.
Very interesting. Oh, it is a wonderful riddle book. Riddles are much more marketable than spells these days. I guess people believe more in mirth than in magic. Here is the spell book you wanted, and a fair trade it is, I must say. Enjoy it.
I certainly hope so. We shall see how rusty my spell-casting truly is.
Alexander is carrying a book from the bookshop. The cover says, Ye Old Spell Book.
The magic paint spell. Cup of swamp ooze, river Styx water, and a black horse feather. Okay.
This is the first page. Alexander reads with interest the specifications for the Make Rain spell.
A few drops of salt water, not from the sea, a vial of sacred water, and falling water. Okay. Charming a creature of the night. A skull full of hot oak embers, a bit of sulfur, brimstone, a strand of pure-hearted maiden's hair.
This is the last page.
That's not very many spells.
Alexander browses the details of a spell that claims to be able to charm a creature of the night. Alexander carefully reads the instructions for a spell entitled Magic Paint Spell. This...
How fare you, merchant?
Business could be better.
Looking at the serving girl reminds Alexander of the years he spent as a slave under the evil wizard Mananan. He wishes there were some way he could help her. She looks very shy and nervous as she tends her roses. The girl is too far away to hold a conversation with Alexander. Alexander doesn't want to intrude on private property unless he's been invited. The cargo bay is unlikely to hold anything of interest or have a very pleasant smell after months of dry docking. Alexander decides not to descend into the dark hole.
Well, there's the Nightingale, and now Jollo said that we could communicate. So let's try this.
Alexander holds out his insignia ring to the Nightingale, hoping she perhaps is the Nightingale that Jollo spoke of, and that she might be able to take the ring to Cassima. The ring is the one thing he has that might alert Cassima to his presence on the Isles. The Nightingale swoops down and grabs the ring. She flies off towards the castle, perhaps to Cassima.
Sing Sing, what have you got in your mouth, my pretty? A gold ring? Sing Sing, where did you get this? Realm of Daventry. But this is Alexander's ring. Oh, my soul, he must be here. Sing Sing, I wish you could tell me what you've seen. Is he really here, then, on this very island? Oh, if only I could leave this castle as easily as you. Take this ribbon, Sing Sing. If you know where he is, return it to him. Please be careful, Alexander. It is so dangerous, and yet I could not wish you away.
The little bird makes a delivery. It's a red velvet hair ribbon. Could it be? Could it possibly belong to Cassima herself?
Or am I merely wishing it were so? Oh.
The lady's hair ribbon is made of the finest red velvet. A long strand of black hair is caught in the ribbon. Alexander examines the red ribbon and finds a strand of long black hair.
Yeah, we want that for our magic spell.
The strand of hair from the red ribbon is the color of midnight. Alexander can only hope that it belongs to his true love.
Okay, let's save it again. Can we give her the love poem now?
Alexander has a...
Yeah.
Alexander holds out the love poem, hoping that the bird will deliver it to the same place she took the ring, in the chance that the receiver might truly be Cassima. The nightingale swoops down, grabs the love poem, and takes it towards the castle.
Sing, sing, my sweet, you bring another present. Let me see. It is a poem, Sing Sing.
What was it when I looked at you? What power has chained me through and through, and binds my heart with links so tight, I cannot live without the sight of you.
Oh, Alexander. I was hoping he'd return to you. Take this to him while he waits. Hurry, my fleet one.
The little bird makes a delivery. The nightingale has dropped a bit of paper on the ground. It's a note.
Dearest Alexander, I cannot believe you are here, my friend. Please, please be careful. Abdul isn't about to let anyone interfere with his plans. Watch out for Abdul's genie, Alexander, and do not do anything rash. I am not without resources, and I will prevail if I can only find some small means of defense. Do nothing to try to get to me. You must not be endangered again for my sake. Greatly in your family's debt, Cassima.
Alexander's hand trembles as he reads the note. For the first time in his long search, he has heard her voice again, if only in writing. No words of love, only friendly concern. Friend. Is the maiden merely shy, or does she regard him only as a brother?
Well, I think she's trying to protect us, right? One last thing I want to do here on the island, though, is test out that hole in the wall.
A group of serving women approach the castle.
Hurry up, girls! There's plenty of work afoot today. No time to dawdle.
Yes, Sergeant Gruff.
It's well that they're here, Wolfe. Cook is about driven himself mad, I hear, worrying over the wedding preparations.
Aye, whoop! What a celebration there will be today! Wine will flow like a river of red!
Today?
There's a little hut just off the path. Perhaps the guard dogs have an occasional use for it, but it looks empty now. The little hut is empty. Alexander puts the hole in the wall on the side wall of the castle. Alexander looks through the hole in the wall. Alexander can see what looks like a hallway in the basement of the castle. It must lie just on the other side of this wall. Alexander Alexander removes the hole in the wall from the wall.
Well, we can try to use our magic paint spell here later. I don't think that we have anything else for the Nightingale right now. Let's take a quick look. No, okay. And unless the lamp guy is back... No. Okay. Alright, well this seems like a pretty good time to end this episode. We have done quite a bit. So let's save it on the beach here, and in the next episode I believe we will be exploring the land of the...
Alexander.
Sacred Mountain, this one. All right. Well, we'll end this here for today. Thank you for joining me, and see you next time.